Hey, what's up, guys? So this is gonna be our first podcast. My name is Dominick Marku. I'm the owner here at Umbra Strength.
Jake Souva, the owner of Souva PT and Performance. Today we're going to be talking about beginnings. There's no better podcast than the first one to talk about how we started. Dom with the gym, me with my PT business, struggles that we had, and just how we kind of turned our ideas into what we have today. Well, I'll ask you first, since technically without this place, I would have nowhere to set up my PT space. So, what kind of when did Umbra start, and tell us a little bit about what was going through your head when you were first having the idea for this gym.
So what kind of inspired me to open up a gym was to bring something new to the table. I had a vision, but I just wasn't sure when I wanted to pursue opening up a gym. It was during COVID days. I ended up opening up my a little home gym in my garage, and obviously once COVID was done, everyone returned back to the gyms, and that's what kind of pushed me to open up my own gym. Kind of made the move one day. I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna go after it. So ended up just doing a bunch of research on how to open up a gym, and nothing was really catching my eye on the internet. So then you start to look at other gyms. How do they open up their gym, or how do they run it? What kind of equipment do they have? But honestly, the first thing that you should do is, what kind of gym do you want? Do you want a powerlifting gym? Do you want a bodybuilding gym? Do you want a CrossFit gym? So I kind of want a mix of powerlifting, because that's what I did, and obviously bodybuilding. So that's what kind of pursued me to know what pieces of equipment that I wanted. So powerlifters, the combo racks, the deadlift platforms, the power bars. And then when it came to bodybuilding equipment, when I first opened up, I didn't have as much of equipment that I did now. Just obviously because you don't want to dump a bunch of money into something that you don't know that might not do good. So you kind of have to have that in the back of your mind. Yeah, you could have the positive mindset and say, oh no, this is going to do good. But you don't want to put yourself into deep shit and for it to not work. So I got what I needed I got the equipment that I needed in order for me to kind of be like, okay, this is good for right now. Ended up doing that, and honestly, it popped off right from the beginning. Then from there, just honestly, every month I was just getting new pieces of equipment. Any money that I was making, I was just reinvesting back into the business. So I think ever since I opened up, I think we've gotten 35, 40 new pieces. So I definitely went hard with it. I obviously wanted to, like I said, bring something new to the table. So I just wanted, at the end of the day, I wanted to create something that I wish I had when I first started lifting.
I think that's a really important thing that you had said about having the gym that you wish you had when you started. Because I think that's how a lot of really good ideas start. It's from being, okay, well, what do I want? What would I have wanted? When I was thinking of my PT business, it was when I was a patient, what would I have really liked and gravitated towards? And I think when you can really put yourself in the shoes of either the person who's coming to the gym or yourself in that scenario, and that's who your avatar is trying to market to, I think, yeah, that makes a huge difference in what you're able to create, because you have them in mind versus just making something and hoping that it's for somebody, because you already know who it's for in your mind when you're going to make it.
So for you, for example, what got you into being a PT? Was there anything that just kind of sparked your mind one day and you were like, oh, I want to be a PT, or was there something in your life that happened that made you want to be a PT?
Yeah, it's actually when I was in high school, I was a pitcher in baseball, and I hurt my elbow, and I went to physical therapy all summer for it. At that time, the doctors were unsure if I was going to pitch again. One was like yes, another one was like no, but either way, we're going to try PT. So I went there and I did it, and I loved it. From that moment on, it was always in my head, maybe I want to do PT. It's either that or I go into something else. So once I hit college and I kind of had to make a decision, I actually went back and worked at that PT clinic. And at that point, I was like, oh yeah, I want to do this for sure.
What would you say, what were the difficulties on starting your business right from the beginning? So was it getting clients, or was it getting your name out there? What do you think the most difficult part was?
For PT in general, you can look on like Google Maps all around here. You can see that there is clinics on like every block. I mean, shoot, within a mile of here, there's probably 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So I think like that's a big thing, is that it was really saturated. So trying to show that you're different than everybody else on the street, that's probably one of the hardest things initially. And just knowing, it got easier once I could go build connections and get in front of more people and to show them what I can do to help them. But I think just like the flooding of the market is probably the hardest part about it really getting started, honestly.
What do you do different that makes you the top dog that you think?
Well, I could go on a lot, and honestly, on some of my YouTube videos, I've already talked about like how just the state of the industry is rough right now. You go to most PT places, and you're not going to spend much time one-on-one with your therapist. You're going to maybe spend 10, 15 minutes, and then they're going to ship you off with a tech or somebody else. And you're going to be doing your exercises with these people. But then they're going to charge you as much as they would like you were working with that PT the whole time. Yeah. So, like, that's an area that it's always with me one-on-one. So, like, you're always going to get that quality. And I really value the, like, relationship building part of it. Like we just went to that, we just went to my combat, and like all these patients wanted to come out and play on my team because I had the time to build a relationship with them. It wasn't just like, oh, you're another knee pain patient, come on in, let me give you the same cookie cutter exercises and then ship you on your way. This gym is full of people who are just putting in work. It's not like you go to some other gyms and people are just sitting around clawing around. You got the high school kids, a lot of places just sitting around and just more social hour versus like actually putting in work. So when I know I have somebody come see me from this gym, I know there's somebody who's like serious about what they're doing, which then makes it so much easier to guide people along when they're willing to put in the work. That a lot of the clinics kind of go through is you get people who kind of come in because their doctor told them to, and then you show them some stuff and then they just kind of go through the motions, whatever. But I think that's the thing that we line up with Umbra and with Souva PT, is that like it's for people who are really ready to put the work in. So that's why I think it works so well together.
That's where I feel like we're like similar. Like, you truly care about the progress that you give your clients, and I truly care about people's gym experience. So I feel like we're both on the same page. Like, we're for the people instead of like, I want to take your fucking money. Like, give me your money. It's not about that at the end of the day. Like, we truly wanna make people's experience something that they could remember.
When people can see that you're genuine and that you're actually just trying to build something awesome for people, that's when it really grows. So Dom, like, what made you settle in with this place here? Like, were there other areas that you were looking at to open this thing up?
Okay. So I've actually lived in this area for about, I'll say 20 years. So I was kind of familiar with it, or I was familiar with it. And I just met so many great people at different gyms. I just kind of knew what the area needed. So, like, obviously going to these other gyms, asking people, what do you want in a gym, and hearing everyone's input on what they want in a gym. And obviously as a business owner, you got to do what the people want. I don't really care what I want. I got to give the people what they want. So it was like a couple of year progress, like just kind of planting my seed in each gym, like knowing people, like, yo, I'm here. Like, I wanted to be cool with everyone. That was like my goal. Cause obviously that's how you got to think when you go into business. Like, let's just say, obviously I went to be in a business couple years after that. Everyone knew me as like that guy that was just outgoing, that just wanted to talk about just random stuff. So it just kind of made it a little easier for me, like going into business. Cause now everyone's like, oh, I want to support this guy. You personally, would you support someone that's a asshole to you? No, like I wouldn't do that. So I'm definitely it was definitely a couple year progress going into it.
Like, did you see this spot and you knew this is exactly where you wanted to set up, or were there maybe some others? Like tell me about that. And we've seen the pictures of what this place looked like right before you came in. Like, walk through a little bit of that whole process of really finalizing the location and then all the hustle that went in to make this to what it is now.
So the reason why I picked this location, there was other locations. Obviously, it came down to the money issue. Obviously, I didn't have so much money where I could call construction workers to do a full concrete demo and all this plumbing and electrical and all this kind of stuff. This place just kind of worked out just perfect to where I'm like, okay, I can do most of the things here.
And what was it right before this? It was like
So back in like 2018, I think it was like a dollar store or something like that. Old carpet, drop ceiling, um, old bathrooms from like the 70s. And I actually renovated my basement before this, so I kind of knew how to do most of the things: tile work, drywall. Obviously, everyone knows how to do demolition. People know how to smash stuff. So
yeah, that's the one thing I can do. That's about it.
yeah, so it was just like the perfect. And obviously, when it comes to rent too, like you gotta think about that. You gotta think about the expenses that the place has. It was just perfect, and it took me about, I'll say, 7 to 8 months to renovate. A lot of work. I honestly, like, thinking about it now. If I were to tell myself, yeah, or if I could shoot myself back in time, and be like, yo, you had to go through this whole entire process. Honestly,
Due to a unforeseen tragedy, aka our camera died, episode 1 comes to a dramatic cliffhanger close. If you want us to release part 2 of episode 1, make sure to hit the like button so we know that this was actually worth our time. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.